everyone, and welcome back to the Unnamed Sports Show. I'm your host, Ryan, joined by Jason and Jerry. How we doing, fellas?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, doing
We
good, man.
got uh, we got some changes of venue for two of us this week, which means that I now know I'll be handless in Gotham City, a purple Gotham City, for the next couple weeks until I can get a new studio. Until a new studio comes around, and Jason now has a nice little studio backdrop.
Even
So
even some brown stuff for you. So Ryan
I
got rid
know,
of his, and I got some for you a little bit, just in case you miss it.
yeah, he turned his upside down though, so it's like reverse Browns fandom. I'm not sure. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on on our social media at Unnamed Sports S. We're on Twitter or X, Instagram, and TikTok. And then you can also find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Again, make sure to rate and leave us a review there. We thank you guys for tuning in and supporting the channel. We've been a little bit inconsistent lately as far as our timing and as far as the day of the week. We appreciate you guys dealing with that. That should be ironing itself out here as time moves forward. So,
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
with that out of the way, we didn't get to talk about the end of the NCAA basketball. First and foremost, congratulations to Jerry, who finished first place in our bracket challenge, followed by ESPN fan 52643222646. Big fan of his work. He finished second. Then Matt third, Jimmy fourth, Pauline and Kaylee fifth and sixth. Purdue not being able to win the championship killed it for him. And then me, then Sean, Jason, LOL, Houston, LOL, Kentucky, LOL. And then the fantastic, I'm not sure who, do we know who that is?
I found out he's one of our Twitter followers. I'm not sure who he is, but he is a Twitter follower.
All right,
I gotcha.
Shout out that guy.
Shout out, fantastic! Thank you for following us on Twitter as well as filling out a bracket. It did not go as good as I'm sure you hoped, but we still appreciate your participation.
There's always
So
next year,
congratulations.
man. There's always next year.
There's always
Exactly.
next year.
Exactly. But congratulations to Jerry and UConn on winning back-to-back national championships. It was a pretty incredible game. I know, again, we're a week and a half removed from the championship game, but just a quick overview. From what you guys remember, what do you think of the game, Jerry? Since you were the champion, why don't you lead off? Also, real quick before we go, I have to say, I just got a new. Oh no!
Put your hand behind it. Put your hand behind it.
Hand behind it.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
A new mug my girlfriend got me. Unnamed Sports Show. So this will be my beverage container of choice for the foreseeable future. So anyway,
Nice.
Jerry, what'd you make of UConn's win over Purdue?
That is awesome. We need to get some of those to our fans. Yeah, if she can get that made again somehow.
Man, first of all, I need one.
Yeah. Yes. We'll ask where she got that from so we can get the whole crew some, and then maybe we'll open a merch store. Who knows?
Yeah, some on the side, some slight.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, pretty decent game. It was kind of tight there for a while, but UConn kind of doing what they've done all tournament long, just pulling away, absolutely dominating on all ends of the floor. Turns out Donovan Clingan was the cure, the antidote for Zach Edey. And yeah, I mean, when Zach Edey, even though he played a pretty decent game, the rest of his team just wasn't there with him. And UConn was just all around the better team all game long. So not surprised to see UConn and Dan Hurley go back to back. Maybe they'll be coming for that 3P. I don't know, but congrats to them, and we'll see what happens next year for them.
It'll be interesting. I will disagree with you a little bit. I don't think he was the antidote to Edie. Edie still had almost 40 points. He had 37 and 10.
Fair point.
It was.
I guess it was more let Zach Edey get his and cover the rest
and
of the
then
team.
everything
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, which they did a good job of. They did not double Edie hardly at all, which everyone at first was, especially at the beginning of the game, it seemed it was going to be close, it was going back and forth. But then at some point, Edie went a little bit cold. They couldn't get any threes to go, and then, as UConn has done literally to everybody, they went on like a 20-8 run, 20-6 run, and just blew the game open. And after that, it just, especially when you rely on a big man, when you're down that much and all you're getting is 2 points at a time, it's really hard to climb your way back in, especially when they do such a good job. They had that, I can't remember his name, but their best guard who was just picking up full court every time, the Purdue point guard, and just tiring him out all game.
Yeah.
Lockdown. So it's very impressive. UConn's defense is what impressed me the most. Like complete lock on everyone except Edie, realizing that Edie's gonna get his, but other than that, like nobody else could do anything.
Yeah,
So I thought,
I agree. I think honestly both losing teams, women's and men's, kind of suffered just from the same thing. Like you were able to focus one player and not focus one player. Maybe that one player is able to score a little bit, but the whole team around them, if they're not able to help and support, like you're not going to win the games.
Right.
yeah, and that's a great segue into the women's championship, which was South Carolina against Iowa, and Caitlin Clark. I mean, I don't think she didn't have quite the performance like Edie had in the men's championship game. I thought that Caitlin Clark's first quarter was absurd. She had 18 in the first quarter, and then I think she finished with 27. So
30. She had 12.
Was it 30?
Yeah, rest of the quarters. Yeah.
Yeah. So she had 30, which again, to say like, oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
It wasn't disappointing. What I thought was disappointing was when you watch that game, South Carolina just slowly, just because across the board they seem to have the better players, slowly starts to take the lead. And then Clark down the stretch wasn't just taking over like I'd seen her do before. I saw her do that against Ohio State. I saw her do that against a couple people. And it's hard. I don't want to discredit South Carolina at all. They were undefeated all season for a reason. They're an incredible team. That girl they have on the inside, she is a beast. She's 6'8".
Cardoso, I think.
Yeah, 6'7".
Yeah.
6'7", big body, great touch around the glass. Like she's a great player.
Yeah, I think she got drafted second too. Like,
yeah.
She got drafted second by the Chicago Sky.
Yeah.
And they also took Angel Reese fourth
What a
or
crazy-
fifth, I think. That's gonna be a scary
What a
team.
crazy tempo.
Yeah.
Unbeatable. I mean, not unbeatable because the what are they? Iowa or the
Fever.
Indiana Fever
Yeah.
have the rookie of the year who also played at Iowa, and then Caitlin Clark now. So that's going to be a nice rivalry. Iowa. I keep saying that. Sorry. Indiana versus Chicago. I think that would be cool. But anyway, back to the game. And if you watch in the third, fourth quarter, specifically the fourth quarter, South Carolina is up, I think, 10 or 11 points. And Clark's passing up everything. Like, she's not just going, we're going to live and die by me. She would, like, dribble. She wasn't really getting doubled, and she'd just kind of pass it inside or pass it off. And there was a lot of missed layups, or these other people would be taking contested shots and missing. And I'm like, listen, if we're going to be shooting contested shots, just do your step back three from the logo. I don't care. Like, that's still the best option that you have, is you taking over the game. So I was a little frustrated by that watching it. But still, hats off to South Carolina. Best. I mean, they were similar to. It was very similar to UConn, in that they just were very, very good all around at every position.
They were just the better team, and sometimes the better team just wins. We've talked about it before on the show. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, no, the guard that was on South Carolina, I mean, she was. I mean, you want Caitlyn to shoot some shots just because she's the best player on that team, but like she was just
Best player in
busting her down.
college. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing a clip because last year Caitlyn was guarding that girl, and she goes to take a 3-point shot, and she just points her and waves her off, and then she said from then on she basically just was so determined and just worked really hard this year, and it paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, Caitlin Clark's the best player in women's college basketball, and one of the most influential player this year in college basketball in general, and was able to lead. I'm sorry, I'm getting some technical issues. I'm getting some echo. I apologize. Um,
Hmm.
Anybody else getting that?
Mm-mm.
I heard it for a little bit.
It just went away. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for everyone watching. Anyway, we'll edit that out.
Done.
To finish the point, I think Caitlin Clark was still really good in that championship game. I think I just wish she would have tried to just take the game over at the end and just, the team lived and died by her, and I wish they would have ended the season living and dying by her shot. So anyway, that's about all I got on that.
Good season of college basketball,
Great season of college basketball.
men's and women's. So
Yeah.
awesome.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Indiana Fever have already sold out season tickets. So
Yeah.
And jerseys.
and jerseys.
And I think Caitlin Clark is getting like a 8-figure shoe deal with Nike, I believe. So
Sounds about right.
yeah. Which, speaking
Sounds
of that,
about right.
her salary being like less than 80,000 for the year is absurd.
I mean, what are they gonna do?
I trust me, I
they
know
make
that's just
negative
how it is.
10
But
mil.
Yeah. I've heard about this several times. They're like, and obviously there's a massive disparity between what women's basketball gets paid versus men's basketball, but nobody goes to these games. Now, I think that'll change.
Exactly.
I think as people like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and these stars that can draw an audience come in, I think you'll start to see the salaries start to skyrocket as people start to actually watch the WNBA. More TV deal. It's really the TV deals. I mean, that's what it'll be.
Yeah.
They can sell at the stadiums if they can get TV deals and get people to tune in. I mean, the women's national championship, or no, I'm sorry, the women's semifinal game had more viewers than like some Ohio State games this year, which is, if you would have said that last year, people would have said you're crazy. Like, it's absurd, and it's awesome. It's great for the sport. So
that's awesome.
Women's basketball,
it's on the map.
It's on the map. It's great. Anyway, so that wraps up our any last thoughts on college basketball before we move on to the main talking point of our show?
See you next March.
Yeah.
See you next March. Exactly. I say the main talking point of our show. We actually got something before that. But before we move on to other basketball news, the NBA playoffs start this weekend. Actually, technically, the play-ins started 2 days ago. The first game was it the Lakers?
Yep.
Lakers Pelicans. Yep. Which was, so for those that don't know, the NBA for the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. This is the third year of it. This is the second year. No, third year. This is the third year. It started the COVID year.
No, you're right.
So this is the third year. Sorry. So for the third year in a row, they have what's called the play-in game. So it used to be the top 8 teams in the Eastern and Western Conference would then go into a 16-team playoff, 8 teams on each side that would play until best of 7 series in each round until you get to the NBA Finals. And then that would be between the winner of the East and winner of the West. And again, another 7-game series to determine the NBA champion. Now they have included a play-in game, which starts between the 7 and 8 seed in the Eastern and Western Conference. The winner of that game secures the 7 seed. Now the loser of that game will then go on to play for the 8 seed against the winner of the 9 and 10 seed playing. So late in the Western Conference, the Lakers were the 7 seed and the Pelicans were the 7 seed and the Lakers were the 8 seed. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. They played. Lakers won, so Lakers now secure the 7 seed. The Pelicans then wait to see who wins between Golden State and the Kings. The Kings dog walked Golden State, so now it'll be the Pelicans versus the Kings for the 8 seed. And then on the Eastern side, it was the 76ers in the 7 seed against the 8 seed Miami Heat. Yep. Miami Heat. The 76ers won by 1 point. So the Heat now will play the Chicago Bulls, who beat the Atlanta Hawks, who were the 9 and 10 seed. And so that game, both of those games will be on Friday to determine who that 8 seed will be. So did I miss anything there? I kind of got that, right?
No, you got everything.
Cool. Do you have the bracket for the graphic?
I do not have the bracket, but I have each matchup. So
all right,
we can go through it
one
by one.
Yeah, let's go through it. So, each matchup like as its own graphic.
Yes.
Or like
what? Starting with the Celtics versus whoever they're gonna play, and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So go ahead and click that so I can see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So the Heat and the Bulls. Ooh, there you go. You can kind of start to see the.
Yeah, I couldn't crop it
up.
out for some reason, so just deal with it.
All good. All good. It works. It works. So the Celtics with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference and the best record in the NBA and the odds-on favorite to win the championship this year. And they're the 1 seed. They'll play the winner of Miami versus Chicago, who will pull in that 8 seed. What do you guys think, first of all, about the Miami Heat Chicago Bulls matchup? Who do you think comes away with that win? I said no Jimmy Butler. Is that right for the?
Yeah, they just ruled him out today, and Terry Rozier will be out as well. However,
they
both
play for the Heat.
Yeah,
for those that don't know.
Yep, and then the Bulls are going to be without Caruso, I believe. I think he got hurt in their game against the Hawks. So both sides dealing with injuries. I mean, it's just kind of that point in the season where everybody's got injuries, so it's next man up. But I think the Heat's injuries are much more significant. But man, it's going to be tough for the Bulls to deal with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. They are just two absolute monsters. Tyler Hero can kind of score at will. Adebayo's that rock in the center that you need both defensively, and he's able to get inside, grab those offensive boards, and kick it out if he needs to, or just put it back up. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Heat come away with it. Despite the injuries to Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier, I don't know how long they're out for. If they're considered out for the series against the Celtics, if they do advance, we'll have to wait and see on that.
I will say.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Jason. No, Jason, go ahead.
Jimmy, I think, is a possible ACL tear. So.
Oh.
MCL.
He's fine. He'll be back.
That's tough because if there's if there's 2 lower seeded teams that you don't want to play right now, it's the Heat and the 76ers because of Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is just, I mean, he took them to the finals not too long ago. Was it 2 years ago? Is that right? Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago as a 7 seed, right? Wasn't it 7 seed or?
I think they were last. Oh wait, because
8 seed.
They were the 8 seed, yeah.
8 seed, yeah. He took them as an 8 seed just because he's a baller, and now they have their team's better than it was even then.
Wait,
so
that was last year. I think.
Was that last year?
They played the Nuggets.
No.
Oh yeah,
because they beat the Bucks in the first round.
Yes. That was last year. Yeah.
They beat them in 5 games, I think. They beat the Bucks in 5 games in the first round, 8 versus 1 seed. Just insane.
So yeah, I would not want to go play the Miami Heat at any point, but especially right now. They looked really good against the 76ers too. I didn't watch the game live, but I went back and rewatched it. And it wasn't until basically Nick Batum forced the 76ers to be competitive in that game. He shot 5 threes off the bench, had a couple other assists, I think dropped 20 in the whole game. I mean, it was crazy. But like Jimmy Butler had 5 or 6 steals that game. They were leading for a really good portion of it. It was a really good game, but at the end of the day, 76ers won. But without Jimmy Butler, I don't know. DeMar DeRozan is can score at any time, any place, and can easily go drop 50 in a game.
I don't know about easily.
I watched him
don't
do it
see
against the Pacers earlier this season, pretty easily. And the Pacers are a good defensive team too. Just kidding.
Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna say they're the worst defensive team, weren't they?
No,
Like,
that's the Hawks. The Hawks are the worst
Hawks
defensive
are
team.
worst.
okay.
Or the Hornets.
Yeah. Well, probably the worst defensive team in the playoffs right now. But what I was trying to say is I don't think what saved the Bulls last game is Kobe White scoring 40 plus points, and I don't know if you're gonna get another performance like that. And like Jerry said, even without Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo, and that team has played without Jimmy Butler a lot this year. So it's like they already know the style of basketball that they want to play. I don't think they can beat that. And even Duncan Robinson has been playing a lot better this year than past last year. Maybe not as good as 2 years ago, but still very good 3-point shooter and is improving on his 2-point game, his interior game. So I think the Heat will still take this from the Bulls.
I agree. I just think without someone like Jimmy Butler could shut down DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, agreed.
You don't have that now. That defensive stop to then. So it's gonna be a good game, I think. But I agree. I think the Heat are the better team. And then okay, let's parlay that. So let's say we all think the Heat are gonna win, right?
Correct.
Let's say Jimmy Butler comes back, which might happen, might not happen. How do you think they fare against the Celtics?
I mean, there's always a chance. Do I think the Celtics will beat them? Probably, but I mean, look what they did to Milwaukee. I thought Milwaukee was winning NBA championship last year, so.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are dismantling either of these two teams, personally. But like you said, that's what we said last year about the Bucks. So
Yeah.
you just never know.
Yeah, I'm reading here from an hour ago. Jimmy Butler sustains sprained MCL, will miss several weeks.
So
So-
that's going to be the
Probably
entire
not.
first round.
They're going to be one and done. Yeah. The Celtics are just too good. Their starting five is just incredible.
Mhm.
And they can get points from anywhere. They play really good defense. Yeah. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. That right there is just
And
It's
then
just too good.
It's
add the
ridiculous.
experience of Al Horford.
yeah.
Yeah,
Marcus Smart, right?
Yeah.
No.
He's not there anymore.
Nope.
This tells you how much I don't watch. Where's he?
Where do you
Tells
get
you how much I watch the
Where
Where did Drew
Memphis
Holiday
Grizzlies.
go?
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Drew Holiday is on the Celtics.
Yeah,
Right. Where did he get traded from?
the Grizzlies. Well, I don't think he got created from the Grizzlies. That's where Marcus Smart is, though.
Gotcha.
Oh, see, that tells you how much the Celtics have been totally out of the.
Bucks? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
The Celtics have been totally out of the zeitgeist, like the mainstream media, all year. Even though they're the quietest 60+ win team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They're
It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. They've just been so good that nobody needs to talk to them or talk about them. That's just how it is.
I think the issue is though it's kind of like that Cowboys vibe. Like they're going to be good in the regular
Yeah.
season. You just expect them to mess up somewhere in the playoffs.
Oh, they're gonna lose. They will. They will. They're not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
what? Oh wow!
I would
Yeah,
put money
you're
on it.
right. Dang right.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Let
yeah,
them
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Let them know.
Dang right, baby. Let them know. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So the next round is going to now the rest of the East has been locked up. I assume we're going East first. So next up we have the Knicks, the number 2 seed, the surprising number 2 seed. By the way, I don't think anyone saw them jumping the Bucks, but I think the Bucks and Cavs are both very happy that they now do not have to play the Philadelphia 76ers. The New York Knicks will play Philadelphia. I think this one. I think even the sports books have Philadelphia as the favorites in this one. I just think without Julius Randle, the Knicks just aren't going to be able to compete with the 76ers. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah,
What's your thoughts on this series?
no, no. I'm so happy we're not playing the 76ers. I mean, with Joel Embiid, that team would have been the number 1 team in the whole NBA, and Joel Embiid would be the MVP winner. So like,
Yep.
having to not have to play that and hopefully tire out Embiid a little bit. I ain't gonna say what I will really want to say, but yeah, no, the 76ers win this game. There's no center on that team can handle Joel Embiid. I mean, I don't think there's really a center in the league that can, let alone even slow him down. I don't think there's a player on that team for that. So, yeah, no, it's the 76ers.
Outside of Joel Embiid, I mean, they have a great team. I mean, I'm not saying that, but I just to say you think that they would have been the best team in the NBA if he was healthy. Think so?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. You're taking an already good team and adding an MVP caliber guy to it. Yeah.
I wouldn't say already good team.
The Sixers? You
Yeah,
think
no, the
without
70
you think
they were
without
sub
Embiid,
500. They were sub 500 without Embiid. That's why they're an 8 seed. Now they were 31-8 with him as a starter.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. That is about same win percentage as the Celtics. That's right at the same number. That would have been 62-16. So and they finished 64-18. So
Yeah.
it's right. That's about the. That's I'm just saying as a contrarian to that thought.
Mhm.
To say they would have been the clear cut best team in the NBA, I think the Celtics might have something to say about that, as well as, I mean, they were great with him there. Don't get me wrong; they're right in line with that 1-2 seed in the Eastern Conference. But without Joel Embiid, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's how well Joel Embiid is playing. Like,
Yeah,
averaging 34, 11 or 12, I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
and 6, like,
yeah.
or 5.
Absurd.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's absurd. This is his. Yeah, if he would have played a full season, he would have for sure been the MVP. He is playing unreal in the games that he plays in this year. Absolutely. So yeah, I think 76ers won away. I don't think it'll be a sweep, but I think it'll be a 4-2 series
Mhm.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Brunson's going to do his hardest, and he's
Yeah.
been playing lights out as well. But
And again, if they had Julius Randle, I think it's definitely a better matchup,
right?
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
they
I mean,
don't. So
Julius Randle's not that big, but he's strong and can at least slow him down, and make him run too. And
yeah, and
while
make
Joel
him
Embiid
guard him on the other end. Yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah, I think Sixers run away with this one. Next matchup, we have the 3 seed Bucks against the 6 seed Pacers. This is an interesting matchup. This would be an intriguing. This might go to 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah.
Jerry, who do you think? Who do you have on the edge of this one in this matchup?
If the Bucks had Giannis to start the series, I think we're talking 5 or 6 games for the Bucks. Without Giannis, it becomes a totally different story because the Pacers had a super hot start to the year. They got to the finals and the what's it called, the midseason tournament against the Lakers.
Yep.
So they kind of fell off a little bit, but not enough to where you're like, oh, the Pacers are crap now, like they suck. No, they are still a good team. They are still the highest, if not one of the highest scoring teams in the league. They've put up 150 points how many times this year? because Tyrese Halliburton can just drop 20 and 20 at will, basically. Like if he
Yeah,
wants
and
to,
they
he
played the
will.
Hawks a lot.
Yeah, well, it helps pad your stats a little bit, but I think it's gonna be a pretty good series. I do like the Bucks still. I do agree with you. It's gonna be a little tighter, maybe 6, maybe 7. But I got to give the Bucks the edge in this one. Playoff game is sometimes just too much for teams to handle.
When did Giannis come back?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask too.
I do not know the answer to that. And
Well,
I
let me look.
apologize if you hear a lawnmower outside. They're like mowing the grass at 7:30 at my apartment complex.
What a
Gotta
time!
love it. Gotta love it. All right. Giannis to miss 2 to 4 weeks. Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Oh,
Crap. Sorry.
Boo.
Bleep it out. Bleep it out.
We've been all.
Yeah, so he'll be out this whole series.
Okay.
That's actually. I don't know. I don't know if they can win without Giannis. Giannis is that X factor. He's like Embiid. Like who's gonna guard Embiid? Miles Turner can't run with Embiid. He's a great defender interior, but he can't run with him. I mean, you put Siakam on him. That's still 3 inch difference height. Like he's just a matchup nightmare, and without that, you're expecting Damian Lillard, who yes has shown flashes, but hasn't. I would say it was more an off year, but maybe it's just more of a he's not the number one option, right? Type of thing.
Right.
So,
I
you have
think-
to
Sorry, go
switch
ahead.
you have to switch your mindset like that for the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if Milwaukee can win. Honestly, I would if no Giannis. I favor the Pacers in my opinion.
I was about
I
to
think
say.
defensively, without Giannis, the Bucks are gonna have a hard time covering Turner and Siakam on the wings because they're two big guys that are gonna stretch the floor quite a bit. And Giannis is that guy. He has that lanky body type to where he can kind of get from place to place without having to move too much. But if they don't have that kind of guy on the floor, they're not going to be able to cover those wings with their two bigs on the outsides.
I agree. I think that without Giannis, the Pacers actually match up pretty good. Although on the front court side, I think obviously Tyrese Halliburton's great, but I think you put Patrick Beverley on him and lock him down. I think that definitely stunts Pacers' scoring ability. But again, Siakam and Miles Turner can both score the ball pretty good, especially Miles Turner. So I think I personally think Pacers in this one simply because Giannis is in there. And if Giannis was playing, I think he makes such a difference that it's a sweep or a 5-game series. But I think this is like a 7-game series and the Pacers pull it out personally. That's what I would bet. That's what I bet. Last game in the East. First game that we're all going to on Saturday. Let's go.
Let them know. Let them know.
Let them know. Let them know. I'm going to put myself in the Jumbotron, too. It's my 28th birthday, so
Let's go.
we're gonna put me up there. Anyway.
Tennessee table. Sorry.
Magic at Cavs. Cavs 4 seed, Magic 5 seed. Game 1 this Saturday. Exciting matchup. Cavs right now favored in the series. I believe they're like minus 170 in the first game, which is a lot.
Surprising.
I think that's what the books opened at. I'm sure that's not there now. But Jason, what do you think about this game? I'm gonna be honest. I know the Cavs pretty good. I don't know the Magic super well, like their roster. I'm not super familiar.
Big.
Giannis or sorry, diet Giannis, defensive Giannis. Jonathan Isaac's coming back, so that helps them a lot. That's a 6'10".
Diet Giannis.
That's a 6'10" lengthy player that can play some defense, very very well. He helps the interior as well. Like it's a little harder now, so I would guess too that the odds have changed. But that being said, we have Twin Towers in the middle, and I think a very very motivated backcourt. Guards are backcourt, front court.
Backcourt.
Guards.
Backcourt.
a very, very motivated backcourt because honestly, the whole team needs to be motivated because if we don't make it far in the playoffs, someone said they're probably going to leave. So, I do believe this will be a Cavs in probably 6, though. Again, the Magic are pretty good on defense, and Banchero is a stud. Honestly, that's just it.
Does Isaac start?
He didn't.
Okay.
Well, I actually want to say he did start
think
towards
he
the
does.
mid. When he was healthy, fully healthy, yes, he starts. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the Magic have
Interesting.
5 guys
Yeah,
who get consistent minutes that are over 6'10".
Yeah.
Like they're just a big team. They're
Mhm.
huge.
that doesn't. Actually, we match up pretty solid to that, and I'm pretty sure we've beat the Magic. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right
I
now.
think all
Cavs
but one time.
Magic this season. I believe we've beat them mostly all
I think
season.
all but
Yeah.
one time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we actually match up pretty good, like you said. Twin Towers, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley on the inside. The Cavs' biggest problem is our consistency. We are utterly inconsistent this entire season. We dealt with injuries, but even after the All-Star break, once Donovan Mitchell came back, we had our starting 5 and it did not look good. And then we had that really good game a couple weeks ago against the second to last game.
Pacers.
We beat the Pacers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and
Great
Tristan
game
was
against
there.
the Pacers. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
we finished the game strong. It was Darius Garland hit that step back 3 that pretty much iced the game, like in his
Dagger.
veins. And then we turn around and tank, which I get, but still frustrating. The last game of the season we lost to the Hornets, who are atrocious.
Yeah.
Simply because we were running 4 power forwards and one guard.
JB
Not
to
even
go.
a guard. Not even a guard. It's
forward.
he's a wing, the small
Oh,
forward
wait.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they took what's his name?
Max Strus.
Thank you, Strus. I was saying Cruz and then Strux. Okay, Strus had a triple double, and he was literally our primary point guard because our backup point guard got hurt. So it was like,
Craig,
took
Craig
him
Porter
out.
got hurt.
Yeah, Craig Porter got hurt. Yeah, that's not good because he's been playing lights out.
Yeah, he's been really good.
But I mean, it's not as bad when you have all 3 players, all 3 guards, and they literally sat Garland,
Mitchell.
Well, yeah, Mitchell. I was thinking of Levine, right?
LeVert.
Jesus, my brain. I'm here. Don't worry. I need a coffee. But they sat all 3 of those guards. So, I mean, those are 3 ball handlers right there. Then the backup point guard gets hurt. And then Strus is the primary guard. And then they take him out because we're up by 6, 8-ish points, 6, 8-ish points. And then we have 4 backup forward/centers in the game. 2 of which had just got pulled up from the D League. One being Mobley's brother. So he honestly, next year I want to see more of him play because that duo combo that they were having for a little bit there, great. But Damian Jones plays maybe a minute, max 5 minutes, once every 15 games, and then I'm trying to remember who the other person was. We've had 2 of their family members, Lance.
Pete Nance.
Yeah, Pete Nance. And he was in there. So 3 G Leaguers pulled up. I don't know. It just
love it.
Me initially, I was like, "What are we doing?" I was angry, and then I thought about it. I was like, who are we dodging? Because we could have been at 2, right? If we won that game, we would have been at 2.
No,
No, the Knicks
it would have been at 3.
3. Okay.
but we weren't sure at the time. So had the
Right.
Knicks lost,
And they
And
were tied with the
losing.
Bulls.
Yeah.
Or losing
They
to
were
the
losing
Bulls,
when
yeah.
The
when
Nets.
the game
The
ended.
Nets.
Was it the
Yeah.
Nets?
Yes, it was Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yeah. So we would have been the 2 seed, and we would be playing the 76ers right now. So I'm glad we're not doing that. But it still is a bad look
Yeah.
when you tank. And honestly, we match up really well with the Pacers. So
Yeah, the
I-
Magic
but-
were the second team I didn't want to play. I would have much rather
I
played the
don't mind playing the
Pacers.
Magic. I don't mind playing the
Ah.
Magic.
They're pretty good.
They're good. They're really good. Oh,
Can someone before
we have a sorry, one quick. We have a comment from Matt. Magic are top 5 in defense and then top 25 on offense.
top 25 out of 32? So
30.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think we it's a defensive battle for sure, but I think with a pure scorer like Spida and Jarrett Allen should have been an all-star this year. He had the numbers for it, just was injured a little too much. And even though they were losing a lot, Evan Mobley, the back end of the season, was actually dropping 20 plus, 20 and 10 every game with a couple blocks. So again, it all just depends. Can we put it together? Can all of them play to what we've seen them do this year? Can Karis LeVert come off the bench and drop 18? Can Darius Garland, he probably is not with Donovan Mitchell there, he's not going to be getting 25, but can he have a 15 and 8 kind of night? Can Mitchell go up for 30 and Allen go for 20 and 10? Like, if this sort of stuff, if we can get these sorts of splits from these guys, that's how we win this game. But it's just since the All-Star break, we have been the most inconsistent team in all of the NBA.
Yep.
So speaking of real quick, touch on this and then we'll move on. I apologize, guys. We'll fly through the West here. But why doesn't, I don't know, I've watched Damian Jones a couple times. He seems like kind of like a athletic, kind of raw type of guy. I mean, I don't know. Why doesn't is he just not really that good and I just haven't been watching the games that he sucks in, or what?
I mean, from what I've seen, like that last game, like it was impressive. I mean, he's able to shoot a lot more than I thought he could. He had 2 of those threes. I was like, wait, what is this? But
in the Pelicans game earlier this season when we were missing Mobley, like I think he played 15 minutes in that game and had like 18 points, 16 points. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but just a quick question. Moving on. So that's the East. We'll go into the game on Saturday. It's going to be super exciting. We can't wait to see the Cavs sweep the Magic. I think we all really do think the Cavs are going to win, though. Moving on to the West. We'll fly through this a little bit. The surprising number 1 seed out of the West is OKC. They'll play the winner of Sacramento and New Orleans. What do you guys think? Who wins the Pelicans-Kings game? Jerry, who do you got?
No Zion, no win. Kings are going to absolutely dominate this game. De'Aaron Fox is going to pop off. They're going to turn back to their early season form. Domantas Sabonis triple-double, calling it now. Give me the Kings.
Jason, how do you feel about the Kings-Pelicans game?
What he just said, retweet, no Zion, no nothing.
Hashtag.
But yeah, I honestly, like he said, even Sabonis is going to go off this game. That's one less defender he has to worry about, and he can control the game. And De'Aaron Fox is going to go off. Kings win.
Yeah, the Kings just can score basically at will. Their defense, they can't stop a nosebleed, but defensively or offensively, they can go score on anyone. And when you don't have your best player, I just think the Pelicans are going to be outgunned. And Sabonis is going to have his way on the inside. De'Aaron Fox is going to ball. Give me the Kings. Thunder Kings. How do you guys see that series going? I mean, the Thunder are the number 1 seed for a reason.
Yeah.
No, I love watching these 2 teams play because watching the guards go at it, it's always a good game to watch. That being said, OKC is a better playoff team. They're set up for the playoffs. I think they're a little bit deeper as well. And SGA is going to go off. I think they might not be ready for a championship, but they're ready for a playoff run, and I think SGA will take them far.
Jay, how do you feel about the Thunder's Kings?
Yeah, the depth is the big part. Kings are going to be without Malik Monk for this series, and I believe Kevin Huerter's still out as well. So they're kind of hurting on that end. And I don't think the Pelicans will be a problem, but coming up against a team like the Thunder, like you said, number one team for a reason, they got their hands full. I think the Thunder will probably win in 5. I think they'll win in 5.
You think so?
Yeah.
See, I'm actually now this could be my De'Aaron Fox bias talking. All right.
It is.
The 2K
It is.
legend.
Listen, whenever I play 2K, De'Aaron Fox is my point guard every time. He is unstoppable. He literally, you just hold that R2 trigger. He's so fast. Dunk every time.
Okay,
Anyway,
let me introduce you to the new SGA. All right, literally probably the same thing.
no, it is going to be a good lineup. I honestly feel. I think that OKC is I mean, both teams can score very easily. The Thunder play better defense, that's for sure. I don't know. I just feel the Kings. I feel like every time I watch the Kings, they're very impressive offensively. So, we'll see. I think the Kings are one of the most fun teams to watch, so maybe it's part of that too. But I have the Kings winning in 7. Upset alert, 1 seed going down.
He's getting hot.
I like it. It's wrong, but I like it.
It's wrong, but you like it. Well, the upcoming the 2 seed versus 7 seed should be interesting because last year some crap talking was going on between the head coach of one of the teams and about LeBron James and back and forth. So that'll be interesting. But the Nuggets secure the 2 seed. Everyone kind of figured they'd be the 1 seed. They ended up kind of not faltering, just not quite as good or as dominant as OKC was coming down the stretch. And they will play the Lakers, who just won the play-in game. How do you guys see this one going? Jason, tell us, are the Lakers going to upset the Nuggets, or are the Nuggets just too good?
The king has returned.
Okay.
The king has returned. Listen. Here's what we've seen from the Lakers as of late. We have seen a explosive play out of players that are not just named Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I believe Russell is going to have a good playoff, and I believe Roy Hachimura is going to have a really good playoff. Austin Reeves is going to do his thing, but I think you're going to see more consistency out of these two players, and that will help LeBron be able to focus on game management. And if we can get one of these guards to match Murray, then I think X factor becomes AD, and instead of having to balance those two out, it'll be him just making the difference. And LeBron, I mean, obviously LeBron's going to be the difference because it's LeBron James. He's going to mastermind his way into this victory. And the only other counter you could say to that is Jokic. And Jokic is a really good, honestly, probably these are the two probably best game managers in the game right now. And I think more consistent play out of not their stars is going to help the Lakers carry a victory in 7.
Interesting. Of note, since the All-Star break, the Lakers are 17-9 and the Nuggets are 21-6. But of the last 4 of the 6 losses for the Nuggets have come in the last 10 games. So they were real hot after the break, and then they've been a little bit not bad. I mean, but it's coming down to the end of the season. They knew they were going to be a 1 or 2 seed, so it's not.
I think they sat out.
Yeah.
They sat Murray. So not too much to read into there, but the Lakers have been red hot, especially in the last 10 games to secure that spot at the 7 seed. So I think that's going to be the probably most watched of all of the first round games. Not just because of LeBron James, but because this is an intriguing matchup between the Nuggets and the Lakers. I think the Nuggets are the better team. I think overall, I don't think they're going to be able to stop Jokic or Murray, and I think they win in 6. But I think it's going to be great. Jerry, your thoughts before we move on to the next matchup?
Yeah, so everybody last year during the playoffs, once it was coming to the Western Conference Finals, was saying the same exact thing Jason just said. All of the Lakers are red hot. They got the king. They got AD. They're going to take down the Nuggets. They got swept. They got swept in the Western Conference Finals last year. Give me the Nuggets. I don't think they sweep this year. Give me the Nuggets in 5.
All I'm saying is, yes, it was a sweep, but Jokic himself had said their hardest series were with the Lakers.
They still got
Let that be known.
swept.
Hey,
Lost 4 straight
let it be
games.
known. Let it be known.
Let it be known they didn't win a single one in the series.
And
At least
also,
Cavs won one against the Knicks. No.
Dog, a
Last
1-point
year-
loss is the same as a 50-point loss, okay? They got swept.
it means you're close. And if you can take the next step, you can be closer. All right?
How'd they
First
take the
of all-
next step? They had to play in the play-in tournament to get into the damn
Relax.
playoffs. How is that taking the next step?
Hey, first of all, it's because the West is big and strong, all right? What are we talking about? It's crazy out there in the West, dog. I'm glad the Cavs aren't in the West because we would be in the play-ins too. Maybe.
No, it's true.
Like,
We'd be the number 7 seed. We'd
Yeah.
be playing the Lakers in the first game if we were in the Western Conference. Or no, we would have been the 8th seed. We would have played the Pelicans, and the Lakers would have played the Kings. So,
oh,
Well,
how about that?
oh.
They're not. They're
They're
the
not.
4 seed in the East.
Exactly. Yeah. For what it's worth, is LeBron retiring after this year? Or how long? I haven't heard any talks on that. I mean, I'm sure he can go for until he's 60 if he wanted to, but I didn't know if there's any.
Hasn't been. He hasn't came out with anything. He has hinted on his body not being the same, so maybe a year or two, but I don't think after this year. I think he's waiting until his son gets in the league.
Fair enough. I saw a funny tweet the other day that was like, it's incredible to watch LeBron regress into prime Magic Johnson. I was like, dang. True.
I
but
mean,
dang.
it's true.
Dang. All right, the next matchup, another intriguing one. I don't think it'll get the same attention that maybe like the Nuggets, Lakers, or even the Thunder will get. But the Timberwolves play the Phoenix Suns. It's a really good offensive team against the best defensive team in the NBA. How do you guys see this one going? I think. Well, I'll tell you what I think last. Jason, Timberwolves, Suns. I really don't know much about either of these teams, honestly.
I mean, I watched a lot of, not a lot. I watched a few Suns games this year. I haven't watched many of the Timberwolves, but this team was almost the number 1 team in the West. So like, that has to stay for something. And Rudy Gobert being probably gonna sneak his way into another Defensive Player of the Year. They're good counter to the Suns because the Suns have a really good offensive game, and you have Devin Booker, you have KD. Like, anybody can go for 50, 60, 70, like if they wanted to. So you're going to need that defense. You're going to need it game in and game out. I just don't know. Are you going to be able to keep up with their points? Let's say I'm going with the Suns. Suns in 7.
Jerry, who you got?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Suns and 7. When you have a guy like KD on the team, it's hard to go against him. A guy who's a NBA champion and MVP. The Timberwolves do have one of the most exciting players in the league to watch in Anthony Edwards. He's an absolute freak, just a monster athletically. But I don't know, something about the Suns, man. They're just that team that's. It feels like they've been up and down all year. They really haven't had their main 3 together all season. Is Bradley Beal going to be back for the playoffs? Is he back?
I believe so.
I think so.
So I think if you get all 3 of those guys on the court together, they can do some dangerous things. And
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking he's back.
I'm thinking he's back.
yeah, give me the Suns. I agree with Jason. Give me the Suns in 7.
Yeah, I'm with the Timberwolves on this. You know, kind of maybe for the opposite, like the same kind of feeling how I feel about the Kings. I feel the same way about the Timberwolves, for the reverse. I think being the best, they're far and away the best defensive team too. It's not like by 1 or 2 points. Like, no, but they are the best defensive team, one of the best rebounding teams. And again, they have Anthony Edwards, who can literally just jump over you to score points. He's an athletic freak. And then, yeah, again, you got Rudy Gobert on the inside and Cat, who can score well, plays good defense. I mean, I just think they're a very well-rounded, good, solid team. And I think the Phoenix Suns are a little too streaky. I think it'll be a 7-game series, but I think the Timberwolves will close it out at home game 7. So,
As Anthony Edwards says, they got KD, we got Josh McDaniels.
Exactly. And the last matchup here in the West, the 4 versus 5, we have the Clippers against the Mavericks. You know, the Mavericks were sitting in that play-in spot not too long ago, but have totally just been scorching hot to end the season here. You know, Kyrie plus Luka. I mean, that's 50 and they could go off for 50, 60,
They
70.
They both can score 50 in the same game.
In the same game. Yeah. I saw LeBron and Kyrie do it. Both drop 40-some points in a game that they lost, by the way. But anyway, against a very solid, not very solid, very good Clippers team. So how do you see this one, Jerry? Clippers, Mavericks.
Yeah, for me, this is, in my opinion, the most exciting series. I think the Mavericks and the Clippers are two of the most exciting teams to watch. Clippers, obviously, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. Just three guys that can – they're all very similar players. They can kind of do all the same things. James Harden's more of that ball-handling kind of guy, but Paul George and Kawhi, very similar player. But they can do kind of whatever they want on the court. But then on the other side, you have – the most talented guy, one of the most talented guys the league has ever seen in Kyrie Irving, who can do anything with the basketball. He can score from any point on the floor. He can score from 3 feet behind the basket somehow. Like, I've seen him do it. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And then Luka Doncic.
With the best ball handles.
Yeah.
And the best ball handler in the NBA.
Yeah. And then Luka Doncic, a triple-double any night it can come. I mean, we just said either of them can drop 50. This is going to be an exciting series. I think this one 100% goes to 7. And I think because the Clippers have the cancer and James Harden, give me the Mavericks in 7.
Jason, what do you think?
I'm going to honestly just agree with everything he said up into that last part. And the reason being, James Harden, yes, might have been a cancer, but I think they have finally found a good pace in their team. He's ball handler, getting those assists every game. Even Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, like, I think they have it figured out finally how to handle all those egos. Let's just be honest. I think they have figured out how to handle all those egos, and I have the Clippers in 7.
Yeah, I think also a 7-game series. I don't think I agree with you, Jason. I think they've found their groove with James Harden. I think that the way that they utilize him, and like you said, with Westbrook coming off the bench, I think it's a very, very good, well-rounded, solid team. But I think Dallas is just too hot right now. They're too good. They are unbelievable to watch. Watching Luka pump fake and do a underhanded layup from 3 is just absurd, and him laughing about it as he's running back on defense. And then for Kyrie to get a quick steal behind the back pass alley-oop, it's just like they are too good, I think, at the 2 best positions. I think Kawhi and Paul George obviously are superstars, but I think they're aging superstars. I think Kyrie's not super young anymore, but Luka is really young. I just think Dallas is the better offensive team, and I think they win. But it'll be great. I can't wait to watch it. And maybe I'm proven wrong. We'll see. That wraps up NBA talk. That's the most we've ever talked about the NBA on this show. That was like 30 minutes of full NBA. Congrats, us.
Guys, yes. we can talk about stuff that's not football. I promise.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to the NFL here. We're going to talk and continue on the divisional off-season moves that we started a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to do last week. We're going to do 2 teams, each of us this week. We're going to try to speed run through these divisions as free agency as all the major moves in free agency ends and the draft comes up. We've kind of shifted more into who would we pick versus in the draft versus the trade, sign, cut, whatever, as well as it's a lot more fun to just go over the draft stuff. So I think we're gonna next week. I think we still plan to do kind of a watch party for the or a watch. I don't know what is that what you call it? A watch party.
Yeah.
Draft day hangout. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll do the show. We'll do the last 8 teams of the NFL. We think with the offseason moves, and then we'll go into that draft watch together, and then maybe we even come up with some sort of mock draft. We haven't really talked about any of that yet. I know Jason's been itching for something like that for quite some time. So we made So we may do a first round, maybe first 2 round mock draft. We'll see. But anyway, lots of exciting stuff in the NFL coming up, and we're going to move over to Jason's division, the AFC South, starting with the probably foreseeable future winners. The Texans.
Hold up, wait a minute. Those are fighting words.
He said it.
They may be fighting words, but dude, I mean, come on.
I don't care. Stephon Diggs who? Speaking of cancers to teams.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah. So we worked on the AFC South together. We did the Texans. For the first move trade, Jerry, what do we got?
All right, we got let me preface this by saying the Texans have had like the perfect offseason. They've had like the perfect last just 2 years. We're just going to trade John Mechie and the 42nd pick to the Panthers for the 33rd pick. We don't have a first round pick to deal or to pick with, so we're going to move up for the 33rd pick. That's all I got.
And who are we taking with that pick, Jason?
Graham Barton. Honestly, positionless on the offensive line. He can play everywhere. He played center. He played tackle. He knows how to play guard. I believe he played a little bit of guard, but not that much. But the Texans need help on their interior, and we are moving him probably to center. And yeah.
I think the person we signed has already signed.
I saw he's still a free agent.
I'm reading here that he signed it.
He signed a 1-year deal. This is a quote unquote trade. Okay, so like at the end of the year when practice players get signed, it's kind of like that. So that's how he kind of got signed. Yeah, because he was on the practice squad, played like 2 weeks, I think 3 weeks for the Titans. But we're doing like a trade and sign type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or hope he goes to the practice squad again and then steal him off the practice squad. But trade and sign is what we'll call it.
I see. So we have a trade and sign for Marlon Davidson for the Texans. He's a interior defensive lineman. He was just with the 49ers and then the Titans. I don't know much about him other than that. Jason, give us a little bit on Marlon Davidson if you got some, or Jerry. I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't know much about Marlon.
Yeah, no, he was the side man with the defense tackle for the Panthers who just got a big contract. Brown.
We're crushing this section.
Big dude. Big defense tackle, got drafted in the first round. He was like the sidekick to him. Didn't get much of a chance with the 49ers. Obviously, that team is deep on the front four. Got signed on the practice squad for the Titans. He was able to play the last 3 weeks, I want to say. And he showed some hope. He got a sack. I mean, for a player that has been through what he has, you don't necessarily see that a lot of the times. So Titans need depth there. They don't necessarily need the all-star there. So with their signings in the offseason, they also got our interior offensive lineman, our defensive lineman, Fuatsku, or I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he's a 25-year-old. He's a hope you can get a little bit more out of him. How he played in college, like he was really good in college. Wasn't as good as his counterpart, but showed flashes. With the Titans, Texans being as good on defense and really good coaches, you're going to be able to get a little bit more from him, and hope he can take another step.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for taking that for me. I apologize.
I should have took that one in general because it was
Yeah,
my idea.
it was your idea. I that's on me for not throwing that to you. So I'll take the blame for that. That's on me. I'll be better. Also, Derek Brown was the interior defensive lineman
Thank you.
for the Panthers that you were referring to. So, all right. Our apologies on the Texans. The Texans are too good anyway. We don't care about them.
Yeah,
Moving on,
they don't
the
need to do
Tennessee.
anything.
Yeah, they do nothing. Tennessee Titans, Jerry, what do you got for us?
All right. So in our first round pick, we're picking up Alu Fashano. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his full first name.
Alumoyiwa.
Alumuyiwa Fashanu.
Fashanu.
Nice. All right. Penn
Trust
State
We did.
offensive lineman. He was the Big Ten offensive lineman of the year, All American. We need somebody to protect Will Levis with the Taylor Lewan not coming back right now. Foreshadowing. But we need somebody to protect Will Levis. Give me Alu Fashanu. He is an absolute beast, standing at 6'6", 312. He is a monster. With the signing, we're picking up a receiver to go beside Calvin Ridley and D-Hop. We're picking up Michael Gallup. Hasn't been re-signed by the Cowboys. So I don't know why. He had a decent year. He's not your number one guy, but he's definitely a solid 3-4 guy. You need somebody who can fill in if
He's
one
a
of them
solid
goes down.
2.
Yeah, I give him a 3.
He's a solid 2.
On this team, he's going to be a 3. So
Right. I agree.
But we need a guy who can step in if one of those two guys goes down. And if if you say he's a 2, he can step in, no problem. So we need a third guy for Will Levis to throw to. We need some offensive firepower. We're taking Michael Gallup. And with our last signing, we're bringing back Taylor Lewan, another offensive tackle, another guy to protect Will Levis. He's been on the team. I believe he was drafted by the team. He's been there ever since his whole career. He went down, I believe he went down last year with a knee injury, maybe even the year before that. He's had some injury problems. Should be fine to go before the start of the regular season. Bring him back, put him on the team.
I like it. Jason, your Jaguars, what are you doing? What's the next step for you guys?
Well, all right. With
Hooval.
our-
That's what you said, didn't it? Sorry.
Shut it. Sorry. Shut it. All right. With our pick in the first round of the NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. So the reason being is because the Texans are a bunch of and got Stephon Diggs. And got Stephon Diggs. We have one solid corner and a decent nickel player. Kind of. And we need a corner help because the three wide receivers for the Texans and honestly the 2 wide receivers for the Titans and the Colts have one good receiver working on the others, but we need help there. So we are going to make sure we get a very big and athletic corner who has shown with the Senior Bowl and the Combine that he can play. He can definitely play. So we're going to secure our spot there. For our signing, bring back Saxonville, baby. I need more depth and give me Calais Campbell. And you get Calais Campbell and Armstead and you put those two side by side, 6'8", 6'7", 300, 200 pounds.
40 years old.
It don't matter. That man is ageless. That man has been playing for life. He's LeBron James of the defensive ends, except for a step down because he's not the GOAT. But that man still plays solid football. He's a good run defender. Yeah, he might not be the same pass rusher he was, but we don't need pass rushing. We have Josh Allen, Tevon Walker, and Armstead. Like, we need solid help and also a voice. He was a leader here, and he can come and be a leader and take more of a coaching role instead of maybe the player role. For our trade, well, the Texans do it, so why can't we? Give me T. Higgins. We trade Zay Jones and a second-round pick to go get a number 1 receiver.
I like it. We'll see. The Jacksonville Jaguars won't do that, but I think that would be awesome to go get Trevor Lawrence, a true number 1, a really good wide receiver who probably wants to be a number 1 at this point because his number 1 status has been taken. The last team in the AFC South, we will try and speed run this. We'll do the Colts instead of doing a signing, a trade, and I just did 2 picks and a signing. The first pick for the Colts is the 15th pick. I have them picking up wide receiver Brian Thomas. He's the number 2 receiver from LSU, but if you knew anything about LSU this year, both of their wide receivers were pretty dang good. Brian Thomas is a little bit of a route running athlete, but he has massive big play potential and scored a lot of touchdowns. So he's a guy that can really stretch the field, and Anthony Richardson he can bomb the ball 90 yards. So this is a guy that can really take the top off and allow a little bit and allow for more explosive firepower from a Colts offense that definitely needed it. The second pick, I have a cornerback out of Iowa State, TJ Tampa. This is a guy that is he was a really good all-around athlete. He's someone that has really good coverage skills, good hand-to-hand. He's got a good turn on the ball. His biggest issue is honestly his discipline. He's the kind of guy that likes to go for the big interception pick 6, and because of that gave up a lot of big plays, but he's got all the intangibles. You coach him up on some decent technique, and he's someone that can be a shutdown corner for him. And then signing, we have the Colts signing Jamal Adams. So this is like a hybrid safety, linebacker, defensive end, guy that can really get after the quarterback. He's a good pass rusher. His last year in Seattle was not the best, but if the year before that and a couple years, for several years in a row before that, he was somebody that you could put off that edge or blitz from the safety position. And I think that sort of aggressiveness and that sort of athleticism on defense can really help revamp a Colts team that was this close to winning the AFC South, losing.
Imagine.
They would have won, right? If they beat the Texans, they won the AFC South, right?
That's correct? Because the Jaguars lost to the Titans.
Oh, that's right. They lost to the Titans. Anyway, a team with Gardner Minshew that was this close to winning the AFC South. So I think you get a little bit better on defense, especially in the secondary and some on the D-line, and then an explosive option. The Colts will be in good shape. Moving on to the other South, but the NFC South, the team we did together, the Panthers. I'll take it away here since you guys kind of did all the work for the Panthers this time. So I'll let you guys talk about it instead of being dumb and picking up something that I don't know much about the reasoning behind it. So the first decision will be a trade for the Panthers. They'll trade the 33rd pick.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay, so it's the trade that I was like, that's the trade we just talked about. Wait a second.
Yeah. We put this one together. There's levels to it, right?
There's multiple levels. You guys are so intelligent. No wonder you left me out. I would have said something stupid. All right, so we've already said this one. which makes my job easy. The 33rd pick for John Mechie and the 42nd from the Texans. All right. Who wants to take the first pick?
Gary, go ahead. I know you're your baby sweetheart.
Take it away, Jerry.
All right. Panthers need some help with the wide receiver position. They need help everywhere. That's kind of why we all decided to do this together, because we're like, nobody wants the Panthers because they're just so bad. They need help everywhere. It's hard to make a decision. But you got to give Bryce Young a guy to throw to outside of Adam Thielen. We're going to pick up Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin. He was an absolute monster for Bo Nix this year. The people are saying he's going to fall to the early to mid second round. I'm kind of surprised. You think he's going to fall third? I don't think he's going to fall that far.
He can't run routes, Jerry.
Yeah, but I think too many guys need receivers right now. I don't know. I think it's worth taking a mid second round pick on. We're going to pick up Troy Franklin, give Bryce Young a guy to throw to.
So you are seeing a pattern where we're getting weapons. John Mechie, a project player who probably can be a good 3 to 2 even if he's given an opportunity. We get Troy Franklin, burner. While he might not be able to run routes, he can outrun people. And speaking about
run
weapons,
in a straight line really fast.
We're gonna get another weapon from him, tight end for the I almost said Texans. Texas Longhorns, Hook'em, Jatavion Sanders, the number 2 tight end in the draft, and will fall in the second round for sure. With the amount of talent that there is in the first round already, I doubt he sneaks in the first round. So we are going tight end for the Texans. Also another burner mismatch. Mismatches are what we're going for. We already have the secure hands. Let's go get mismatches, and we're getting Jatavion Sanders.
I think it's beautiful. I think the Panthers will now maybe win 3 games next year. That's pretty high.
I wonder
Jerry,
what their over-under is for.
I bet it's 4.5. I bet. I'll look it up. But while I'm looking it up, Jerry, tell us what the Falcons are doing this offseason.
All right, so on the complete opposite of what the Panthers need, the Falcons need help on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, they pick up Kirk Cousins, probably the biggest free agent signing of the offseason so far. They go and get him help in a ton of receivers. They go get Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore, Kadero Hodge, Ray McLeod. They already have Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. So we're going to get some help on the defensive side of the ball. And with our first round pick, we are taking the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in Dallas Turner. First team All-American, first team All-SEC. He was a Bednarik finalist. He is an absolute monster. The linebacker position, a place where they need to really, they need to fill the gaps in the middle of the field, and he is the perfect guy to do that. Now in the secondary, they need even more help. So we're going to go get a little bit of experience, and with the Bills' mass exodus of their team, they just release everybody. They decided to release Micah Hyde. So we're going to bring him to Atlanta. Bring him down to Atlanta. We need some help at the safety position.
Yep. Atlanta.
Down in Atlanta. Give me Micah Hyde, and we need more experience. So we're going to pick up a veteran, probably on a 1-year deal, because that's what he signed with the Steelers. Give us Patrick Peterson. Obviously, he's a little older, but he can still play at a pretty good level. Maybe even add a little bit of depth. I don't know. He's still a starter caliber player in the NFL. He's a beast. You guys think Patrick Peterson's a Hall of Famer? He's
yes.
A Hall of Famer? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So I agree. I was about to say it. I didn't want to get caught off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Patrick Peterson. Add some
First ballot, maybe not, but
yeah.
definitely eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, give me Patrick Peterson, some veteran experience on the defensive side of the ball. Falcons, I'm sticking with my post Super Bowl from last year pick. Falcons in the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, all right. Moving down to the Bayou. What are the Saints doing, Jason?
The Saints are making a trade. Can someone do it for me? I suck at that. The trade sound.
Is it? Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo?
Thank you.
That
Thank
That
you.
was
Thank
pretty
you.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was actually really good. I'm glad I had that. Okay. They're
Oh,
making a
wait,
trade.
or is it? Dum, 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 what is it?
Oh,
Oh,
No, that's
no,
the
no. I think
that's the draft
that's the
sound.
pick
no,
stand.
that's
Yeah.
the
pick
sound.
stand.
Yeah, the pick stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go
Okay.
ahead. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
The Saints are making a trade with the Titans to move up to 7. They are trading their first round pick this year and next year's second round pick to move up. And they are going to get offensive linemen from Notre Dame, Joe Alt.
Joe Mama.
The Saints have lost a couple players on the offensive line. They shore up a important position at the tackle spot and go get Joe Alt, who has been probably the most dominant offensive lineman out of this draft class in his college career. First day starter, future Hall of Famer, Joe Alt. All right.
He's gonna have a good career,
so-
huh? Pretty
If
future
he
Hall of
doesn't-
Famer.
The Notre Dame people know how to do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it out here because when we go back 20 years and we see it, I'm like, I said that. All right, I said that. All right, DJ Chark. We are going to go sign. We need another receiver. We don't need a starting. We don't need a 1. We don't need a 2. We need a number 3, and preferably an outside player that comes in and then that 3 wide. So, DJ Chark, while is he good? No. Is he doable? Absolutely.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm speaking from experience
Yeah,
over
he's
here,
only-
dog. I'm keeping it a buck 100. The worst wide receiving core last year was,
Panthers.
and was he number 1 on that team?
No.
No.
Was he number 2 on that team?
Was he? No. 3? Was he
No.
3?
He was 3. Let's go get a number 3.
Let's go get a number 6 for most other teams. Well, that takes us to the last team in the division. The probably biggest surprise of the 2023 season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have re-signed Baker Mayfield, re-signed Mike Evans, re-signed Antoine Winfield, and have pretty much put together a pretty good roster going forward. They still need some help at a couple key positions. And the very first pick, the 26th pick in the draft.
Can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
No.
I felt
Put
like
it closer.
an idiot now.
If you're listening to this on Spotify, you're probably like, "What the hell are these guys doing?"
Put the top part of your phone right on the mic.
Nothing?
Oh my god!
Yeah. I heard it.
Don't blow your eardrums out.
It's
Oh,
about-
all right,
Yeah,
sorry.
we got
That
the
was-
gist.
That was embarrassing.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey,
Never
I
again.
appreciate
That might be
it.
the cringiest moment on our show. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, the first pick, 26th pick, we're taking defensive end / outside linebacker, whatever you call it, edge rusher, Chop Robinson from the Nittany Lions, Penn State. Guy's a true athlete. He's somebody that, similar to Trayvon Walker being the number 1 pick in the draft. What was that? 2 years ago? This is somebody with 3 years ago. This is somebody with
Right.
true, with the intangibles. He didn't quite have the production you would be looking for, especially in a Big Ten conference. That, you know, if you would have been able to show out, you would have been a definite top 10 pick. But he is truly unbelievably athletic. He ran a 4.48 at the combine, which is absurd. So this is somebody that definitely can come in and make an impact, especially with Shaq Barrett leaving. You know, get a little bit more of that linebacker, some of that edge rush ability. Second, I chose to do 2 picks as well. They have the 57th pick. They're in the second round. They're going to go with offensive guard Cooper Beebe.
Bieber.
Cooper Beebs. The Beebs, guard out of Washington. True mauler. This guy's the kind of gritty, blue collar, just tear you apart type of offensive guard. He's not quite the best pass rusher, and his weaknesses again would be that he overextends because he's so aggressive. But the Buccaneers, who definitely took way too long to find their run game last season, could do with some interior line support. And then the last pickup, another offensive lineman, Charles Leno Jr., was recently cut by Washington. I don't believe he's signed anywhere at the moment. He's getting up there in age, but he's definitely someone that could anchor the other side. Obviously, they have Tristan Wirfs, who is a beast and just a true. Have you ever seen the video of him jumping out of a pool?
Yep.
It's absurd. He can literally box jump himself out of a pool, and he's a 300-pound offensive lineman. He's incredible. But if you can anchor down the other side, especially with someone like Baker Mayfield, who is a little bit prone to holding onto the ball too long to try and make a play, and he thinks he's probably more athletic than he really is, really anchoring down the offensive line, I think, is something that the Bucs are going to want to do. So that is my thoughts on the Buccaneers. That's who I think we're going to draft and sign. So that wraps up the NFC South. Any other big news coming out of the NFL that we want to go on other than Antonio Brown anticipating a big trade coming up?
Hey,
I think
AB knows.
JK to the Chargers.
Yeah. That was the big one.
Biggest news I've seen.
Cool. Well, the draft is next week, next Thursday at 8 p.m. We will have our traditional show at 7. We will go over the last set of teams that we have yet to do, which is the East.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The East.
Yes. The NFC East and the AFC East, and then we will give you guys. We have to talk about it some, but I believe we'll probably have a mock draft to go over before the draft actually starts, and then we'll do a watch show for the draft. So we will see you guys all next Thursday. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah. Two real quick things. The reason I'm making faces over here, the Lions just released their new uniforms. They look nice.
Oh, did they?
They're nice. Yeah. They look good. They got this sick new blue and black helmet. It looks dope. So go check that out. They literally just released them 5 minutes ago. Second thing,
the Browns just released their new helmet design too. It looks pretty slick, but it's just Browns, so whatever.
It's a color that we don't like.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead,
But,
Jerry.
last thing, just real quick. So growing up, I didn't watch a ton of NBA basketball or college. I didn't really get into it until probably freshman, sophomore year of high school. When I did get super into it, one guy that just stepped foot in the league was Blake Griffin. He was an absolute monster, and he just announced his retirement yesterday. So just wanted to congratulate him on an excellent career. I know Lob City was one of the most fun times in the NBA with him, CP3, and DeAndre Jordan. So just an absolute monster, an absolute athletic freak. So shout out to him.
If you're ever bored, go back and watch. People forget how truly dominant Blake Griffin was.
Yeah.
Go back and watch his highlights, dude. He was a monster. He was truly like a top 3-4 player in the NBA when he was at his peak. And true and pure athleticism does kind of fall off hard if that's your entire game, which is kind of what happened to him. But nevertheless, you're still talking about one of the all-time greatest athletes to play in the NBA. So,
I mean, there's been some great dunkers, and there's probably been better dunkers, Vince Carter, but ain't nobody was throwing it in from way back like that. No,
Yeah.
actually, Wemby now, but that's not athleticism, that's size. So.
I mean, CP3 is throwing up alley-oops to him, and he's windmill dunking them out of midair.
yeah.
Literally
Absolutely
just
insane.
Above the rim, looking in, just not even like touching the rim, just throwing it in there. Like you don't see it. You don't see it.
Absolutely.
You don't see it. It's incredible. So congrats to him on a great career. Any other final thoughts here, gentlemen? All right, we thank you guys for joining us again. We're moving the show to Thursdays now. That kind of fits all of our schedules a little bit better. I think moving forward, we're going to be a lot more consistent. But we really appreciate everyone showing up. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on our social media at Unnamed Sports S. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and X. And don't forget to review and like us wherever you find your podcast. Thanks, guys, and we will see you next time.
Peace out.
Peace.